Here we go. Welcome in the Hold My Banner. Just hold it. Travis Thomas here with the walking, talking triple-double himself. Ballin'. Ante Campbell, what you say, Papi? How you doing?
I'm doing good, TT. Man, I'm excited because we finally got finals action tonight, dog. It's going to be a really good game. I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later.
We are.
But I'm just excited for finals energy. Thunder are going to be wearing their white out.
Yeah.
We're going to get, talk some Celtics today as well as we always do.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting episode, dog.
Before we get into this, and we'll break the game down later.
Yes.
Can you help me get there? Because I'm honest. I told you from the beginning, when we were in the Eastern Conference Finals, we kind of figured out pretty quickly in the West it was going to be the Thunder.
Yes.
But in the East, I said, man, I can't believe I'll never root for the Knicks to win this series because of how they acted and conducted themselves here in Boston.
Yeah.
But I think the NBA, I think the casual fan, I think a lot of people want to see the Knicks because I knew the ratings would be good because of the New York market.
Right.
The Knicks are the Knicks, big brand, and there'd be some interest there. Pacers, Now, I'm going to watch. You're going to watch.
Yeah.
We're hoops heads. Everyone watching Hold My Banner, we're all the same.
Yes.
But if we're being honest, I mean, your casual fan doesn't give a rat's you-know-what about Pacers Thunder. And I don't even find myself being that high.
I'm not going to waste any bullets now. We'll talk about it.
But we're talking the game.
But we're talking that too. We'll talk about that in a second.
You'll talk about the interest
I'll
around.
Get you
You'll
ready.
get me there.
I'll get you ready.
All right, fair enough.
We'll get you ready.
All right, well, let's start with the Celtics then, because look, every show we do together, it feels like we sit down, we talk, and then we say, as we scour the net for topics, every single Celtic has been traded. All of them. There's every scenario. We've even done it on this show. I still got people calling me out my name, calling me everything but what I am, a child of God, about suggesting in a fantasy world, by the way, that Jason Tatum would get. I mean, I stopped responding. I said, do you watch the whole show or do you just skim through it? We told you before we went there it was just fantasy land.
Right.
But now MassLive has actually done one which is realistic, Kristaps Porzingis. And they presented a bunch of different, potential trades for Porzingis. So let's get into this. Let's get into the list. What do we have first? What's the first trade we're going to look at?
So first we got a trade that they proposed with the Pistons, all right?
Okay.
So the Pistons are going to give up Isaiah Stewart, Simone Fontecchio, Bobby Klitman for Porzingis and draft compensation. Now, Travis Thomas, Travis Thomas, how do you feel about this trade?
Dog, come on, man. What, can we throw some players in that I know? What's Chauncey Billups doing? Are there what's Ben Wallace doing these days? I see Rasheed Wallace on podcast. Can we get Sheed thrown? This is trash, and y'all know it. This trade is trash. There better be some better trades than this. Now, with that being said, all of us can't act like this Porzingis that we just watched is the same Porzingis that helped us get the title.
Right.
So I want to be fair.
Right.
Because we're looking at a multitude of trades, okay? I want to be fair.
Right.
But I don't like this. This isn't enough, bro. This isn't enough. Who do you like here? I don't like anyone. Draft compensation maybe, but the Pistons are actually good now.
Yeah.
So what's that draft pick look like?
What I like here is defensive identity. This is what I like. I like having Isaiah Stewart in this deal.
I like Isaiah Stewart. I should put some respect on his name.
I like having Isaiah Stewart in this deal just because I think with the Pistons, they've now honed him back a little bit because they do have a Jaden Durant there, you know what I mean? So they have a big who's going to block shots for them, who's going to give them that ferocity, and he's a better offensive package than Isaiah Stewart is. But I remember the days going back to a couple of years ago when they first drafted Jalen Durant. They were like, okay, we're going to see if we can make Isaiah Stewart kind of a stretch five.
Sure.
And he was doing some things in Summer League that year in his second year.
I do like his game a little
and all
bit.
that other stuff. I think he can develop a jump shot if you give him the time. I liked how his jumper was looking during those development stages, but they didn't need him to do it, right? They got Cade, and they said, hey, we got Cade, we got Jaden Ivey. We don't need you to score. Go play defense for us.
Which he
be
did.
An enforcer and do all of this stuff. He can play that role really, really well for this Celtics team. If we're talking about losing an Al Horford this summer, if we're talking about KP getting shipped off, I like that part of the trade, but I'm with you. Overall, it doesn't seem like I'm not really good with the foreigners. I don't think they've done a lot for the Pistons up to this moment. So I'm a little nervous about that.
I mean, bigger conversation here is what is the identity of this team? Yeah, I think with a lot of these trades, now we're talking Porzingis, but there's other guys that are going to get moved.
Yeah.
What are we looking to do here? Because if it's still to just chuck threes, then I hate this trade proposal, right? I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
If it's, hey, look, we know that's going away. We need a new identity. Let's go a little more defensive-minded. Then you make a great point, as I put some respect now on Isaiah Stewart's name. Yeah. But I'm barely putting respect on his, and I damn sure ain't putting on anyone else involved in this. I hate this trade. I want out. Also, if we can.
Yes.
Just in case the Porzingis we know shows up and not what we just watched, okay?
Yeah.
I'd like to get him out west. And I'm not afraid, I'm not acting like he's a boogeyman here, but I certainly don't want the Pistons, who are a young, aspiring team that we just saw get to the playoffs and look really good.
Yeah.
All of a sudden get this guy, and he's a missing piece, and then they go on a run. I don't want any parts of that.
Yeah, but
I don't want any parts of it.
I don't think KP's timeline is that long. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as him being a great player like we saw throughout the regular season this year. You know what I'm saying? I think his window is very short. I mean, we're talking about a dude who's hurt every single season. He's missed a lot of long season injuries, you know what I mean, throughout his career.
And we don't know what's going on with him either.
Right. So the age, even though he's, he seems like he can still have some years left, the mileage, as far as injuries and stuff like that, has caught up. But you did talk about going out west, so let's talk about a team.
Okay,
out
good.
West.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the Clippers. They have a proposed deal from MassLive as well.
Okay.
Bogdan Bogdanovic, Drew Eubanks, Cam Christie for Kristaps Porzingis. What do you think about this one?
I mean, well, first of all, I like it because he's out west. And I told you that's I actually like this trade a little bit better than the Pistons one.
Okay.
I would want still, even though the Clippers are good, I'd want some draft compensation too. That's the only thing missing here.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I'm not going to act like all these guys are great. But I like this more than I do the Pistons. I would just say give me some sort of draft compensation. And the most important thing, send him somewhere out of sight, out of mind, where I don't got to watch it. And by the way, to your timeline point, I guess in both of these cases now, Pistons and Clippers, to a certain extent, would work for him because those are both teams that are close, right?
Close.
The Pistons probably need him more because of Porzingis' veteran leadership he can bring to young guys, but the Clippers are more of a veteran team. But I like the Clippers trade proposal better than the Pistons, although I don't love either. So far.
Yeah, here's my thing. I think Bogdanovic is a really good asset in this deal for the Celtics because he does bring that, ability to do a lot of the things that the Celtics do.
Yeah.
Pass, shoot, make a shot, put the ball on the ground, you know what I mean? Make plays.
He could kind of do a lot.
He can kind of do a lot of those things.
I like him.
The Drew Eubanks, I think that I'm surprised Drew Eubanks is still in the league. No offense to him, but I'm just saying
I haven't seen anything.
The experience with that has just kind of been dead. He's more of a 15 and out, face up big, you know what I'm saying? But he never really panned out to be the guy that we thought he was going to be. And then the Cam Christie, like, if he could be like his brother, if he can be like Max.
Well, he ain't.
But he's not.
He ain't.
He's younger, but he's not, you know what I'm saying? So, if he could be like his brother, then I'm like, okay, then maybe the Celtics have something in this deal, but I'm not in love with it as well.
Okay, so I'm keeping track here. I like this Clippers proposed trade over the Pistons.
Okay.
Where are you? I'm keeping like a power ranking.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'll
You like Pistons more, didn't you?
No, I like
Clippers.
I like Clippers more.
Not much. I'm not acting like that was something not. By the way, let's have this convo before we move on.
Yeah.
What is a good, that's a thing. We don't even know what we have in Porzingis right now, present day.
Right.
So what does a good trade even look like?
Rim protection.
Okay.
Rim protection.
All right.
I mean, that was something that the Celtics dealt with all year was, with Al being, in and out of the lineup, KP being in and out of the lineup. Was like, hey, who's going to be the rim protector, grab defensive rebounds for them, you know what I mean, keep guys off the glass. If they can get that back in a trade for KP, I think that I'm fine, which is why I say I like the Isaiah Stewart a little more.
Yeah, I see the vision.
You know what I'm saying? But I still think.
But you like the Clippers overall package.
Because I think Cam Christie and Bogdanovich,
okay,
they got a little bit more there. All right, we're going to stay out west with this one. Los Angeles Lakers, other team playing in the Staples Center.
We can't trade with them.
Crypto.com arena. Here we go.
You can just kick them out of here.
All right. Maxi Kleber and Shake Milton for Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, all these guys suck. Gabe Vincent can shoot. Other than that, I'm not interested. Kleber sucks. Milton sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm not trading anyone who's good to the Lakers ever. Thanks.
I feel like Maxi Kleber's name just keeps getting thrown in trades every single time. Because, well, on paper as well, when you look at it, he is a good shooter. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's kind of phased out. Also, another guy who's had a lot of injuries in the playoffs throughout his career. Missed a lot of time and stuff like that. I think the mileage is catching up to him. Gabe Vincent maybe could be good in the new scenery. I think him playing with ball-dominant Luka, ball-dominant Braun, ball-dominant AR has really hurt who he is. When he was with the Miami, he got opportunities to bring the ball up and be a point guard and do all of those things.
He's a good shooter if he's open and he's not a create a shot.
No.
But if he's open, he can knock down a shot. I think he almost fits what they do now a little bit better.
And then I have to have a conversation with Pelinka and ask, yo, bro, how good is Shake Milton really right now?
I mean,
how good is Shake Milton really right now? Because when he was with the 76ers, at a point, he looked really good.
He did.
You know what I mean?
But then he went there.
He bounced around, and now it's like we haven't seen him.
I think he sucks. I do. Listen, I ain't sugarcoating it. This trade sucks. And it's the Lakers. That's part of it.
Nah.
I don't want the Lakers. Listen, Luka, LeBron, and KP's a problem.
AR.
But I do remember this though, vaguely.
Luka and
there was a Luka KP thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as it was explained to me, because remember, KP went to the Wizards after the Mavericks.
Yeah.
As it was explained to me at the time, it wasn't like a beef.
You're right.
But they just didn't work.
Right.
So what does that mean? Is it a personal, or is it their styles didn't work on the court? Because I would think stylistically it does work.
Right.
So there's something there. I don't think it's a big deal. And even back then, when it could have been, it wasn't made a big deal. But there were whispers like, those two don't work.
Yeah.
That's something to think about too. Like if you're trading them to the Lakers, I know this is proposed, right?
Right.
But the Lakers could talk to Luka. Hey, you good with this? Luka could hold the cards here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no, I'm not good with this. I don't want him. I already played alongside him.
And I think KP has earned the respect of Brad Stevens here.
Yes.
Where if KP's also saying,
good point.
This didn't work out for me last time.
Good point.
Maybe I don't want to make that work. Also, I think KP knows, and Luka is finding out that LA media is nothing to be played with, especially when you put on the purple and gold versus the red and blue.
Sure.
When you put on that purple and gold, missing games and sitting out of back-to-backs and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You saw how they were talking about AD, day-to-day Davis, whatever. The Celtics fans, I know Boston, we get a lot of bad rep, for us media guys saying, oh, we're so rude to our players and all this other stuff. We've been pretty nice to KP getting through these health issues and all this other stuff. When he's in LA, they're going to be calling him every single type of name that they have in the book every single time he misses a game.
I also think we've been nice because when he got here, he helped.
Yeah.
If we got the KP that we just saw from the beginning, Boston would not have been nice to KP. You feel me? Like, I think some of the reason why Porzingis was given grace in our media is because he helped win a title.
Right.
But if whatever's going on with him happened when he got here, that same grace would not be. But that's a good point by you. I also think before we move on to the next trade, we have to address the elephant in the room, who's the actual GM of the Lakers.
Yeah.
And head coach, and owner, and the alpha and the omega. What does LeBron want? If LeBron wants Kristaps Porzingis, that's exactly what he's going to get. And it would look like this trash trade that is being proposed right now.
Yeah, it probably would.
It would. I mean, maybe worse.
Especially with Austin Ainge out, maybe the Lakers with LeBron do get some fleecing going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, good point.
The Ainge
good call.
family has left the chat. You know what I'm saying?
Good call by you.
We'll see. But all right, what about this one? Bringing back an old guy that we nice to have here. Robert Williams.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
And Matisse Thybulle.
Is he awake?
For KP. Time Lord.
Does his alarm work?
Time Lord.
Like, I mean, come on, dog. Hell no. Not no, but hell no to this. Get this out of my face. I didn't think I could like anything worse than the Laker trade. But you know what I'm doing? I'm putting the Lakers above the Trailblazers.
Wow.
You like this trade?
I mean, I like it more than I like the Lakers trade.
Not me.
And the reason that I like it a lot more than this Lakers trade is, yes, Time Lord has the injuries and the knee stuff and all this other stuff, yes. But, like, if we're giving away KP, who wasn't here doing all this stuff, I told you that I want rim protection. And I told you that I want defensive switchability. And we're talking about Matisse Thybulle,
I like
a guy
him.
Who's been a great defender throughout his career.
I like him.
I think he could come here and, his shooting has been a little iffy with him. But we've seen the Celtics develop guys in the shooters, give them the confidence to be, deep range shooters, make shots.
I like him.
I think that part, you know what I'm talking about? The defensive switchability of those two, I like the most out of any of these trades. I think all these trades are trash.
They are. They're all
Robert
terrible.
Williams
doesn't play. He didn't play here. He hasn't played anywhere.
Yeah, but it's
Why
Time
are
Lord.
we assuming he's going to play at the second iteration of it?
I hear you.
I'm not.
But it's Time Lord. Like, he's going to.
Fans loved him.
Fans love him. You know what I'm saying? I think Portland, he's not really interested in playing. They're probably tanking.
They're definitely tanking.
That's probably part of the reason he's not playing games.
They're definitely tanking. They're doing a great job of it, too.
Fantastic job of it.
Hey, so this is, let me review here.
Yes.
Because I'm going to want you to pop up the one that we like the most, all right? But all these, no one cares when I preface comments. They just take the clips. But I'm still prefacing my comment by saying, overarching, collectively, I think we agree, all these are trash, okay? But here's our power ranking.
Okay.
I have Clippers, Pistons, Lakers, Blazers. You, correct me if I'm wrong, stop me, Clippers, Pistons, Blazers, Lakers.
Clippers, Pistons, Blazers, Lakers.
Like we all agreed on Clippers.
Yeah,
I
Clippers
think.
is one. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Blazers too, though.
Oh, you like that over the Pistons?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Blazers too.
My apologies.
Yeah.
All right, then pop up that Clippers. Now here's the deal. I mean, like, this is kind of what it would look like, folks, and none of us like this. Everyone is, turning their nose up right now, and I get it. But this is kind of the reality. This is what could be facing the Celtics. No?
I think they could get better.
Okay, give me your proposal. What team for what? You can't say that and then not be expected to be put on the hot seat.
Off the top.
Well, we just had a trade on the screen, and you're saying they could get better. Let me hear it, then.
I don't know. I'm going to have to come back to you later in the episode with that one.
How about, I can kill some time right here. What kind of package can we put together? Porzingis, you know where I'm going. I heard the sigh. What kind of package can we put together where Porzingis is involved and he goes to Milwaukee and he's part of the Giannis trade? That's the trade I'm interested in, and I think Porzingis is an excellent piece.
I don't even want to play this game. I just want to move on, dog. I don't want to play this game with you.
You just took your ball and went home?
Yeah, dog. It's my ball, and I'm going home with it, dog.
I'm not going to lie. It's not the first time it's happened in my life. I'm used to it. I used to argue so many calls. So many dudes would just leave the court. Yeah. You know what, Trav? Ball. Wait, we're playing a game. No, you're not. I'm going home. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
You probably quit the game, too, don't you? We playing video games. You going to quit on me, ain't you?
I for sure did. I quit on our boy Toby the other day.
You did?
In college football.
See?
He wore my butt, and I said I'm out.
Not going to lie. I'm not too great to say I haven't quit on a video game either. By the way, coming up here on Hold My Banner, pour out a little liquor for Tibbs. We'll make fun of New York, because that's what we do best. Next. We'll do that next. Hold My Banner. Roll with us.
Cat's a great player, but he just doesn't fit with this team. He fit better with Minnesota, which is, I don't think is a crazy thing to say. They had a defensive team that was better equipped to hide some of his deficiencies. You have a deep weight winner over there. You have Anthony Edwards over there. You have Jaden McDaniels over there. They have a team that's defensive minded. The Knicks have a couple of defensive players, and then a bunch of guys who really want to score.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Cat doesn't fit over there. If I'm the Knicks, I'm blowing it up. I've been saying get rid of Tibbs.
You're blowing it up.
I'm blowing it up.
That boy is prophetic. They don't talk about it. I get it. But I'm going to talk about it because he called it. You saw the timestamp on that. Moments later, the Knicks fired Tibbs. Yeah. Bro, look at the timestamp. The receipts are here. So essentially an hour later, they fired him. Excuse me, Ante Stradamus, would you like to ISOCAM and tell us how you knew this was coming?
Oh, man. I mean, here's the thing. The NBA is a business, man. It's one of those places where, what have you done for me lately? And I told everybody. I told Travis.
You did.
I told Casey. I told Adam. I sat down with all three of them over the last 2 weeks and said, have the Knicks really forced anybody to not play their game yet? And they had it. And guess what? When they ran into the Pacers, they didn't do it again. And guess what? Leon Rose was sitting in his office and he said, we beat the Celtics because they were not healthy.
Check.
We beat the Pistons because they were young.
Facts.
But the moment we ran into a team who's has less talent than we do.
True.
But has a better coach than we do.
Big facts.
We lost. Maybe the coach is the problem.
Wow.
And so he ended up doing what he needed to do and firing Tibbs and getting him out of New York. Was I surprised? Maybe a little bit.
Probably a little.
But
that they actually did it. Right.
But am I, feeling kind of rejoicing right now, just joyous? Yeah, because I like being right. I always tell you I'm ready.
No kidding. We know. Humble, too. The thing is, I think it was a wrong decision to make, but they already made it, so what the hell do I care, right?
Yeah.
Now it's, what do you do next? And, bro, everything you see are all these big, sexy names. Some of them have already come out and said, I don't want that job. Dan Hurley now publicly has said, yeah, no, I'm good, thanks. Yeah. Okay. Like, I just did this last summer. We're good.
Wow.
He already put a kaput to that. Rick Pitino, publicly. I'm cool. I don't want the job. Stop calling me. I know I'm here in New York. I know I turn around St. John's. I ain't going to the Knicks. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
Allegedly, the Knicks picked up the phone. Hello? Yeah. We're calling about Ime. Click, hang up. Nope. Rocket said, no, the hell you ain't. Now, I'm reading a lot of things where it's rumor mill. Yeah. But it's like, can the Knicks put together a trade package with the Heat for Eric Spoelstra? I mean,
when's the last time we seen the head coach?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they are. It's so arrogant, New York of we can get anyone we want. No, the hell you can't. Some of these guys are like, no, I'm good. Do you think it'll be a big name, like another one? Jay Wright's being floated out there. Do you sort of see that happening? I actually think they can have their cake and eat it too, in a sense of, I think Mike Malone is a big name. That's a champion.
Yeah.
I think Mike Malone is someone that makes a lot of sense. He doesn't have a job right now. He's a native New Yorker. He was an assistant coach for the Knicks some years back. So that kind of makes sense from a basketball standpoint, but is that sexy enough for New York? I think in basketball circles, Mike Malone is a big name.
Yeah, I mean, I think going back, I'm looking at it now. You're looking at the Knicks' former head coaches, and they were all sexy names, at least at the time, you know what I mean? You had David Fizdale, you had Jeff Hornacek, Kurt Rambis, Derek Fisher, Mike Woodson, Mike D'Antoni, Isaiah Thomas, Larry Brown, you know what I'm saying?
And a lot of those dudes were not good coaches, by the way.
No, but they were the big names, they were the sexy names at the time, you know what I'm saying? So I think we are going to get a big name here.
Okay.
I think it might even come back to somebody that won Coach of the Year in the past, because I think everyone knows at this point, since 2018, between 2018 and 2023, every single winner of the Coach of the Year award in the NBA has gotten canned at this point.
It's a curse.
So, but going back to one of those coaches, this could be a Monty Williams kind of situation.
They might be a big enough name.
I know he's over there. We're talking about trades, you know what I'm saying? Like, this might be a situation where they say, okay, we like what you did in Detroit.
Yeah.
Maybe you could come help us out, you know what I mean? And we get you some money, get you right, and get you with some talent, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the Pistons don't have the talent just yet to be a contender. We say, hey, man, we love how you brought that ceiling up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that something that they try to do?
I don't think so. I think they're, look, I don't know the rumors. We're not in New York. We're in Boston, thank God. But I have to imagine there's got to be something there with Jay Wright, right?
Yeah,
like
maybe.
If I'm putting myself in Jay Wright's shoes.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you be interested in that job? Half of the guys you coached in college are already on the roster.
Right.
So that check.
Yeah.
And let's talk about, not this kind of check, but the check. You're going to get paid.
Yeah.
It's New York. It kind of makes sense. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he got out of the college game because of stress and was causing health issues.
Yeah.
You're not
then
gonna.
He saw the foresight within the AL.
Hey, yo, probably. Mm-hmm. Hey, yo, I got news for you. You're not gonna be less stressed out coaching the Knicks, especially for the money they would pay you with and the expectations you walk into. This is some of the reason why I said firing Tibbs was a mistake. Whenever you get rid of anyone in any industry, you better have an idea of what you want to do next.
Yeah.
You don't just get rid of someone. Right now, it looks like the Knicks are kind of scrambling a little bit. That's not good. Tibbs, say what you want. And we made fun of him on this show for running players into the ground. I used to say the Knicks, by the end of the regular season, are put together with duct tape and bubble gum, right? And those are facts.
Yeah.
And finally, they were healthy and everything. They knocked out the Celtics. Everything looked like it was their time.
Yeah.
And they came up short against the Pacers, to your point, because they were outcoached. They were outplayed, but they were outmaneuvered.
They were outcoached.
So, okay. Fine, I get it. Kind of knee-jerkish, maybe. Let's get this guy out of here. What's next?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't downgrade from Tibbs. And some of these names we're throwing out feels like it could be.
Yeah, it was one of those things when I got off air with Adam and I saw that tweet come through from Shams. Yeah. Immediately I was like, well, they must know, right? They must know who they
That's what I'm saying.
Next.
Yes.
But it doesn't seem like, obviously after hearing they called the Rockets and they were like, no to you.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, whatever. Reportedly.
Yeah.
That's what what happened.
Right.
It seemed like they were ready to, kind of name somebody within the, coming weeks or whatever.
Right.
Now it does seem like they're kind of in panic mode. If they are in panic mode, or even if they're not, I'm going to give them a more serious candidate of somebody who's not coaching a team right now, because Monty Williams would kind of be like a pipe dream of a situation. It would be Jeff Van Gundy. He's a former Knicks coach.
It makes sense.
And he's sitting on the Clippers bench right now. They also impressed people with their ceiling and how much defensively they were such a
big name guy.
Right.
Been there, done that.
Already have a team that's kind of defensive minded. You got to get Rick Brunson out of there too, which I'm assuming, will happen.
Well, Van Gundy's coach there. He just kind of knows so he's on this list. You know, it all comes back to gambling. Keep me honest on time, because I get lost and stuff. I'll take you in the woods if you let me.
Yes.
Next coach odds. Favorite in the clubhouse, Mike Malone. Johnny Bryant next, Jay Wright, Mike Budenholzer. We didn't bring him up. Big name.
Yeah, but
Rick Brunson, Monty Williams, to your credit. Taylor Jenkins on this list. John Calipari. How about that? Dan Hurley. So these are the pipe dreams. Jeff Van Gundy is on there. He's a long shot. Mike Malone feels like the.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with Malone till we go to break here.
Okay.
If it's Malone.
Yes.
Is he an upgrade over Tibbs?
Yeah. 100%.
No hezzy on that?
No.
Okay.
100%.
Then I think that's the guy.
It should be the
I think that's a fair question. I think Tibbs would feel differently. He doesn't have a championship.
Right. It should be the guy, But I do want to say, before we move on to the break, New York. It's been my brother wasn't born the last time y'all went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And he's a grown man. A grown man. Working, making his money, doing all his other stuff.
Hair on his chin and everything.
He's never seen the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Final until this year. I was 4, 3, 2, 1 years old when the last time the Knicks made it to the Eastern Conference Final, and then you finally get somebody who gets you there and you fire him. What a shame.
Y'all don't
shame
know how
on
that.
y'all.
He's the one that got away. Y'all should have acted right when you had him. Now Tibbs gonna go on, live happily ever after,
and making bread.
Making what?
30.
And y'all gonna be miserable. You watch. Hey, coming up here on Hold My Banner, we do actually have a game tonight, like an NBA Finals game tonight. We'll preview it next. Roll with us. Hold My Banner. We'll be back. Welcome back into Hold My Banner. When the show started, I told Ante, I was honest. I said, look, I'm a hoops head. But Thunder, Pacers, doesn't really do it for me. But it does start tonight. And Ante said, Trev, I got your back, dog. I'm going to get you there. I'm going to get you hyped for the finals. I love the NBA Finals. Even looking at this graphic does fire me up because it's, the NBA Finals. But the two teams in it, I am intrigued by the Thunder because they're just juggernauts. And I want to see if they can close the deal. The Pacers don't do it for me, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know. And I'm not even a hater. I defend Tyrese Haliburton. I'm going to do it next segment on this show. But that team doesn't do it for me. I am watching the finals for my own hypeness to see if the Thunder can go wire to wire. They were the best from when the season tipped off.
Yeah.
Wire to wire, can you close the deal? I know you're young, but is it really your time? And if they can get this done, then you can start talking about how many are they going to win in the next however many years, right?
Yeah.
So that's my intrigue. And SGA, of course, but that's my intrigue are the Thunder going to close the deal? And do we have to start talking about them? We've talked about all these other teams, including this one in town, potential dynasties. Well, it could be this one if the Thunder mess around and win it.
Look, here's what I'm going to tell you about this series that's going to make it such a great one.
Okay.
If I am going to tell you what I'm predicting a little bit later for games-wise, how long this series is going to go, who's going to win, whatever.
Okay.
I've already told Adam, but I'm going to tell you in a second.
Fair enough.
My thing about this series is that we have two of the deepest teams in the NBA right now playing some of the best basketball and playing high-tempo, defensive-minded games, right?
Yeah.
They're all over the court defensively. You're talking about a Lou Dort, a Jalen Williams, a Chet. And then on the other end, you're talking about an Andrew Nembhard, a Aaron Nesmith, a Miles Turner. They're moving their feet, sliding their puppies, fighting over ball screens, which I told you is a huge part of everything that you have to do against these two guards that they're going to have to face, who, one, you think is top 10. We'll talk about that in a second. You know what I mean? And the MVP, you know what I'm saying, who is an all-world kind of player. When you have two high-octane offenses, which these two teams are, and two high-level defenses facing off against each other, it's going to be a good one. Now, do the Thunder have more talent in every single position? 100%.
Yeah.
But guess what? I've seen Rick Carlisle.
Rick Carlisle's a dog.
And I've seen him go into a series where he had more talent probably in every position, or less talent in every position against that Miami Heat when he was with the Dallas Mavericks.
He schemed them to death.
And he went and won against one of the greatest players of all time in a series where no one think Dallas had any business being in. No one thought Dallas was going to beat the Lakers that year. You know what I mean? And they sent them home, swept. Brooms. Quickly. Kobe Bryant. Get out of here.
Carlisle was coaching, bro.
And he can still do that. He's been doing that throughout this series. He has this team shooting 50-40, almost 90, but 50-40, 50% from the field, 40% from three throughout the playoffs.
Yeah.
A team where we had Aaron Nesmith, who we said, we gave away some crumbs to get Brogdon here. And this crumb is playing all-world minutes. You know what I'm saying?
I like him a lot.
And Andrew Nembhard, who's a winner at the collegiate level, came here to Indiana and is a winner now with the Indiana Pacers and doing a lot of the things. A lot of the same things we saw Jalen Brunson do when he was with Dallas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you talk about a Tyrese Haliburton, who's a top 10 offensive package just by himself, a system in the NBA. You talk about Pascal Siakam, who I haven't even brought up, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, who's won an NBA championship.
Yeah, he has.
Being an underdog once again, injuries, we'll talk, that is what it is. But being an underdog in that series against the Warriors, he went in there and won an NBA championship. So a lot of guys who have a big chip on their shoulder, a basketball state who's hungry for an opportunity to win an NBA Finals. I can tell you this, they may not win this series, but they're going to go out swinging.
All right, let's talk game one then. Schematically. I mean, the Thunder like to play up and down. The Pacers like to play up and down.
Yeah.
Certainly as a gambler, I'm looking at the over all night long in this. Are we going to get an exciting, high-scoring game? You also mentioned the defense. Or do you think because of the stage it is, because it's the finals, because we've reached this point, because people are probably anticipating an exciting up-and-down game, that we could get a defensive game? If it's offensive and it's a track meet and they're running up and down, I actually don't think anyone in this league can beat the Thunder. I'm going to be honest with you. No one. But I think if it slows down, not that the Pacers want that per se, but I have seen them in the Eastern Conference in particular against some of these teams have to play at a slower pace. Those teams come in wanting to slow down the pace, and they've done just fine. Carlisle, you mentioned tactically.
Yeah.
I almost think if it's defensive and it's a little lower scoring than I think, advantage Pacers. And I'm just talking game one here. Yeah. Advantage Pacers. If it's, by the way, young team at home. Yeah. First finals for all these guys. Yeah. I mean, they're probably going to be flying like NASCAR, I would think. Yeah. If it's high tempo, high octane, I like the Thunder in game one at home. That building's going to get behind that. Schematically, what do you see in game one, and who does it favor?
Yeah, here's what it is. I think coming into this game, both teams are going to come out slow. Just because a lot of what you said. You know, I think Pascal's going to be the guy that maybe gets a couple early buckets because he's been in this environment at this point. He's won the championship. You're going to see him maybe come out, you know what I mean, and make the first couple buckets for Indiana, right?
To calm them down.
Calm them down. But I think this is going to be one of those situations where both teams are a little nervous because most players haven't been in this opportunity or had this opportunity yet to be in the NBA Finals. Yeah. But I disagree with you. I think that the Thunder will still go out and take this game, and here's why. Okay. My thing with the Thunder in this series is that the torture chamber and Jalen Williams are going to put number 0 in yellow in water, deep water.
Bro.
He's going to be out there panicking for his life.
Then they're getting swept.
Nah, I'm talking.
I know.
I'm just talking.
But if that's a game plan and it's them monsters assigned to him, Pacers getting swept, bro. I'm sorry.
And Tyrese's numbers this year against the Thunder have been atrocious.
Right. And that's been the game plan.
And that's been the game plan. He does not really like to play against those big, strong physical guards. And Lou Dort is a problem when it comes to that.
That's what he does.
He's the prototype.
That's what he does.
He's the prototype. He's old school Tony Allen. He's Marcus Smart. He's the prototype.
He's all of them rolled into one.
Right, defensively.
Boy, the Thunder are so good. Yeah. All right, let's have this convo, bro. I do want your big picture in terms of how long the series goes. Yeah. But just because we're here now, I have to do it. Like, are we talking about a team that's about to get their first of many titles? Because honestly, they're so young, Ante. I always go back to this with you. Last year, the whole reason I bet against them was because they're the youngest 1 seed of all time. Right. I mean, this team, these are babies out here. Yeah. If these guys get their first title and the way they did it, like, what are we talking about? This could be a dynasty. It could be.
It could be. And the thing about it is, their team is just built to last. They've got a young team. They've got guys on rookie deals like Chet, you know what I mean? They're still going to have him under a rookie deal for the next 2 seasons.
Bro, they have draft picks for the next 20 years. They have a war chest of draft picks. They have money. Yeah. Like, this is scary hours.
I love Sam Presti. And, I've given him some hate. I've given him some love throughout this time on Hold My Banner. And he's done a really great job of drafting. But I think we're going to have to figure out years down the line, not now, but if he's good like Brad Stevens at retooling, you know what I'm saying? Because there is going to come a point where a small market team like Oklahoma City
keep
says,
everyone.
Hey, we can't keep all these dudes. We can't pay everybody. We got to break this up at some point. The Warriors had to do it. The Thunder had to do it back in the day with James Harden. Yeah. You know what I mean? They didn't get their championship.
Well, they did. For the record, they offered him the money.
Right.
But he wanted to go.
Yeah, he wanted the bigger role and all this other stuff. Who's to say Jalen Williams doesn't want that down the road? Chet, whatever. Yeah. Another young guy on their team, Kassan Wallace, who also was a great defender. We didn't talk about him. Yeah. You know what I mean? As well, he's going to make, Tyrese Haliburton work in this series as well. But he could want a bigger role and say, hey, thanks for paying me, but I'm going to go somewhere else and, show what I could really do. This team does have a runway here, though. They do at least have this year and next year where they have everybody under control. After that, they're going to have to figure out the Chet Holmgren, situation, how that fits into their salary, and, they'll figure it out. They'll also have to figure the Jalen Williams situation out, too, after that as well, which they will figure out. But for this next 2 years, they got a great opportunity, especially with the Celtics being in the place that they are right now.
Yeah, they better take advantage of it now because once the Celtics retool, it's on. And you predicted a Celtics Thunder finals this season. Yes. We obviously didn't see that come to fruition, but that could be something down the line that we see if the Thunder are going to hang around for sure.
Yes.
Look, all right, game one, it sounds like we're both Thunder tonight, yes?
You kind of think that the Pacers have a chance if the game's fast-paced. I think no matter what. The Thunder are walking away with game one. And I think it's going to be high. I do think we're going to get high scoring later in the game. I think it's going to be probably like a 120.
That's where I'm in the 120s.
117-16 kind of win for the Thunder.
I'm both 120s. I'm 120, but I'm high scoring. Yeah. I'm 120, 124. Okay. Thunder game one, close.
Yeah.
I do think the Pacers steal one at home. I think they'll win one in their barn, probably game three.
Yeah.
And then it's a wrap. I'm going to go gentleman's sweep here. I'm going to go Thunder in 5.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same.
I just think it's their time.
I could see 6. Because
I can too.
Because I believe in Carlisle that much.
I can too.
I can see 6.
Fair.
But I'm going to say 5.
By the way, even if it's 6, it'll feel like 5. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I think the Thunder will be in control of this whole series.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. There 100%. It is. Official predictions. What could go wrong? Coming up next on Hold My Banner, what the Haliburton? Top 10 in the league? Huh? We'll debate next on Hold My Banner. That's a tease right there.
Yes, sir.
All right, this one's for Ante. The Tyrese Haliburton disrespect on this show has been just a little too egregious for me. Haliburton, now, we should be talking about him like he is a top 10 player in the league. It's because he is a top 10 player in the league. I feel like he doesn't get any respect across the basketball world. We're talking about a guy who's a back-to-back All-NBA third-teamer, back-to-back appearances in the Eastern Conference Finals, and now into the finals, completely dictating the Pacers' style of play through him. If you go look at his numbers, they're eerily similar to Steve Nash when he won his back-to-back MVPs. The numbers that Haliburton is putting up right now, eerily similar, and he gets no respect. I feel like if he was in a bigger market or maybe scored a little more, something like that, people will be talking about him like what he is, which is a top 10 player in the league. The disrespect, it has to stop.
Wait! I wish that anonymous caller put their name on it, because that was a fantastic call. By the way, I mean, the Tyrese Haliburton slander on this show, don't you mean from that side of it?
He said it. He said it. He said this is for Ante.
Why is this? Okay. I'm like, why is this a collective? This is him. Because I'm in. I'm not quite as strong as a caller in my feeling of top 10, though.
Yeah.
Like, when I say top 10, I'm starting at 10, right? Like, I'm like, okay, he maybe has eked his way into 10. But he's probably, no argument, no debate, top 15. Okay, that's where I'm at. I'm on the 15 to 10 range. Mm-hmm. But I feel the caller, and we appreciate that. The Ringer agrees with the caller. I am looking at a list right now from the Ringer of the top 100 players, NBA Finals edition, in this league. And Tyrese Haliburton, Ante Campbell, who you hate on repeatedly on this program, as the caller pointed out, is ranked 7 on this list. So the Ringer's like, bro, is top 10. To that, you say, what?
Well, I'm gonna allow my Celtics Nation to get their 2 cents off first. This is one from Locked Up JB.
All right.
He's on Twitter saying, we have to deal with this for a whole year, bro.
Tatum at 10.
And it's Tatum at 10.
Yeah, that's too low, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to bump him up. He's got to be in front of Tyrese Haliburton.
Okay, so we're going to start there.
He's got to be in front of him.
That's 1.
Oh, you want to name 10?
Yeah.
You don't want to go on this list? You just want to go what we doing?
I'm going to name my 10.
Okay.
And it's not even in order. This is just who's better than Tyrese Haliburton. I'm going to name you 10 guys easily.
I'll make a sound effect if I disagree. If I'm silent, which never happens, it means I agree.
1, Jason Tatum. 2, Jokic. 3, SGA. 4, Giannis Antetokounmpo. 5, Luka Doncic. 6, Steph Curry. 7, Anthony Edwards. 8, Donovan Mitchell.
Excuse me. Go on.
8, Donovan Mitchell. 9, Jalen Brunson. No, hold on. We can stop here for a second. We can stop
it's just
here.
Something it's my allergies.
We can stop here for a second. So I was talking to Adam last episode, and everyone's saying, "Oh well, Tyrese beat Jalen Brunson, and there was these wild stats coming out about Andrew Nembhard.
Why you say his name like that?
Held Jalen Brunson to 38% from the field and 30% from three throughout the series, right?
Why does this bother you so much, bro?
And guess what? Tyrese and Jalen Brunson was still the leading scorer in the series and still averaged 50-40 from the field and from three-point throughout the series. So even with their main guy, Andrew Nembhard,
why are you stiff-arming right now, bro?
Guarding Jalen Brunson, he still was getting 50% from the field and 40% from three throughout the series.
Why are you sitting up in your chair, bro?
He was frying Tyrese Haliburton. Frying him.
Okay.
And guess what? Tyrese didn't even win ECF MVP because he's not even the best player on his team. And that brings me to number 10. Pascal Siakam is better than him. Hold on. You want me to keep going? Victor Wembanyama.
Okay.
Better than him.
I ain't giving you Pascal.
LeBron Ramon James.
LeBron's long in the tooth, but I'll give you LeBron.
Better than him. Kevin Wayne, Mr. Wayne Durant. Better than him.
Long as KD and Bron is in this league, I'm putting him above him.
Kawhi Leonard.
Wow.
Is better than him.
When he plays.
Kawhi Leonard is better than him.
I do think availability should matter here a little bit. Let's just slow down.
Anthony Davis.
Well,
is better than him. Two-way. What type of defense does Tyrese Haliburton play?
Again, I'll go back to availability, but I hear you.
Okay, you want to talk about availability? Then I'm going to give you another name, which is named like 15 at this point. Who's even keeping count?
This is your list.
Who's even keeping count?
This is your list. This is all of it.
I don't care what you say, when he plays, when he doesn't play, blah, blah, blah. I seen him. When he plays, he played great against the Celtics as well.
Who?
Joel Embiid.
Oh, man.
It's better than Tyrese Haliburton.
Joel Embiid ain't played since 1996.
I don't care. He's better. When he plays, he's better. MVP.
I tell you one damn thing. Tatum 10 on this list is egregious. Wemby 11 on this list is egregious. LeBron at 12, I don't give a damn how old he is. LeBron ain't never been 12 on no list. As long as he's alive, he's top 10. What are we talking about? Anthony Davis, Durant, Cade Cunningham at 16. I mean, look, some of this stuff.
Cade's better.
You like Cade better?
Cade's better.
I don't think yet. I would take Hallie over Cade, although I love Cade.
Jaylen Brown's better. I don't care.
Jaylen Brown on this list is 21.
Jaylen Brown's better.
Hold up. Time out, dog.
Devin Booker's better. He's been to the finals too. Devin Booker's better.
Damn Haliburton. How is Jaylen Brown 21, bro?
Yeah, because this list
What are you talking about?
This list is...
They have Jalen... Here are the egregious players above Jaylen Brown. Jalen Williams. And this is Evan Mobley. Hey, I'm about to cuss. I can't look at this list no more. Let's do our own list, dog. You right.
Right.
I'm about to cuss. I can't.
No, I need to stick because we're dealing with this caller. We're dealing with this caller. And, make sure y'all watch Boston is in the chat. Make sure y'all call in. Make sure y'all leave a tweet for them at
The caller got you tight, bro. That caller got you uptight.
But look, bro. 10? I'm looking at it. I'm like, is he top 20?
Hey, you're being disrespectful.
I'm not.
And saying Pascal's better than him is kind of wild.
I'm not.
You wilding out.
I'm not.
They built the whole system around him, bro.
No. He
What do you
won
mean,
Eastern Conference Finals MVP for a reason. The voters clearly think he's better.
I'm not talking about Siakam. I'm saying they built the whole system the Pacers run around how Haliburton played.
They built the whole system around Rick Carlisle being one of the best coaches in the NBA.
Yes, and he took the kid and said, this is how we're going to play.
We're going to run you off ball screens because we know you can't get by nobody one-on-one.
See, this is hate. Now this is hate.
And I'm glad they went.
No, go back, Jenny. I'm glad they went ISO.
And we're going to get Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Neesmith.
This is what hate looks like.
And Miles Turner and T.J. McConnell and all these guys around you because we know you can't guard.
No.
And we're going to make sure that defensively we hide you because you're a bum on defense.
Bum?
A bum on defense and not good without a ball
This is where I agree with the caller.
Hold on. Wait till Lou Dort puts him in the torture chamber tonight. Wait till we see it. And then I'm going to have this conversation.
I can't argue that.
Again, I'm going to call you from your home.
No, don't call me.
While I'm on the show with Casey Hudson next week. Make sure y'all watch.
Don't do that.
When I'm on the show with Casey Hudson.
Watch, but don't call me.
And I'm going to say, hey, Travis, did you see what your boy did this weekend?
Well, I see my boy now.
I'm going to be, look, and then you're going to be like how Melo and KG were after the game. After a basketball game, like Iman Shumpert, after a basketball, Melo, over a basketball game.
Bro.
I'll be calling you all kinds of names on that phone call. You're going to have me swearing.
Bro, you hating on this young man.
No, I'm not. He's a great player. I don't want anybody
He's going to be in the torture chamber.
I don't want to get anything.
You hating on this young man? How you say all that and then say he's a great player?
He's a great player, all right? We got so mad about Jason Tatum not playing for USA. Did you hear anybody complaining about Tyrese not playing?
Hell, he played more than Tatum. What you mean?
You hear anybody complaining about that?
He played more.
No, nobody was complaining. He was getting DMPs too. He was over there.
I'm not saying he got minutes. I'm not saying he got burned.
He
played more than Tatum. I bet money. Look it up.
We will.
Look it up right now. We ain't got time.
We ain't got time.
We'll do it next banner. I guarantee you he played more minutes than Tatum. But it doesn't matter. But my thing is this. Tatum should still be higher on the list. Don't get me wrong. But I think Haliburton he might be back in, but I think he is top 10. As we look at these lists, I got him at 10, bro. I ain't even going to hold you. And we appreciate y'all. We're not going to hold you either, although we do appreciate you partying with us here on Hold My Banner. Please send us, you saw it, voicemails, messages, tweet at us. Do whatevs. Get involved here on this debate. We all can agree Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are too damn low on this list. That we can agree with.
Nope, I got it here. We ain't going nowhere again. Tyrese Haliburton played 26 minutes. Jason Tatum played 71. Get out of here.
I stand correct.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum played
at
more.
the buzzer.
And he should be higher on this list, no doubt about it. Thanks for rolling with us here on Hold My Banner. Till next time, when we ask you to hold it again. Peace. Ballers!